Clashes in Paris on the eve of the first round of France's presidential election, in which 11 candidates are vying to occupy the Elysee palace. Survivors of the Syria evacuation convoy blast recall the pain and horror they experienced. The terror attack killed almost 150 people, most of them children. Donald Trump seemed a bit confused this week about the aircraft carrier he was sending to North Korea after it was spotted heading in the opposite direction. And the British Prime Minister makes a surprise U-turn by calling a snap general election this summer. Top stories of the week and the main headlines of the day. Welcome to the Weekly on RT International. It is a big day for France, where people have started casting their votes. What is the first round of what's being billed as a highly unpredictable and historic presidential election. Let's cross live now to our correspondent in Paris, RT's Charlotte Dubinsky, joining us here on the program now. Charlotte, the very latest on the election, what can you tell us?
Well, voting has been underway for the last few hours now here in France. Some 47 million registered voters who will be heading to the polls today in what is seen as being an incredibly crucial election here in France. Now, we've already seen some of the main candidates voting this morning, including Benoît Hamon and Emmanuel Macron. There are 11 candidates in total for this presidential election, all hoping to get through to the next stage, the second round, which will be held in May to determine who will be this country's next president. We've also seen the outgoing president, François Hollande, casting his vote this morning. Who knows who that was for, because this is a wide field with many candidates vying for that position. But this comes at a time when France is deeply divided. There are big social issues here, big economic issues here. Many people saying that they felt that this race has been rather superficial and quite unhappy with it. And some 14 million voters suggesting that they may not vote at all or will spoil their ballots when they cast them today. And that could have a big impact on this election. Those divisions we've seen over the last few months, with many protests erupting across France, and particularly here in Paris, in the capital. These are some of the elements of what happened across the protests yesterday on Saturday. These were clashes between the police and Antifada protesters. Now, the real main concern amongst many voters that I've spoken to in France is security and terror, and that's because just a few days ago France was subjected to another terror attack. We're 18 months now into the state of emergency that was instigated after several massive terror attacks in 2015, and that is something that is playing on the minds of voters here, and that could determine who becomes this country's next president. That security is heightened, so much so that 50,000 officers have been deployed at voting stations across the country to ensure that this process is as smooth as possible.
All right, RT correspondent Charlotte Dubinsky joining us live from the French capital. Thanks for that.